My name is Melanie dai Medeiros. I am an interdisciplinary artist and unconventional papermaker who resides locally in Barrington, Rhode Island. I seek materials and processes that elaborate on the inconsistencies of memory, both in the narrative of imagery and physicality of the material. Today I'm going to speak about my installation titled Landscape. The work is a visual experience that encourages the viewer to look in new ways and discover what lies before them. Seeking the past and present of a coastline, this drawing in 3 dimensions is sprawled across the floor and climbs the wall, engaged in the act of translating a stretch of earth manipulated by time, elements, man-inflicted trauma, and the land's own powers of rejuvenation. It references a local island that has been populated and unpopulated, fought over and abandoned, farmed, turned to desert, and partially reclaimed by nature, while bearing the brunt of the excess suburban waste from the other side of the bay. Charcoal lines oscillate from representational depictions to rhythms and patterns referencing the composition of the soil itself, with overlapping elements giving voice to the life force taken for granted under our feet, intertwined with man-made debris. This installation examines the memory contained within a place through its objects, while celebrating the land's innate cyclical and regenerative qualities. The transfiguration from one form to another in this installation investigates how through living, dying, and falling apart, life leaves its mark and becomes embodied as a memory into the landscape. Memory itself is fluid, layered, and accumulative. It can be transparent or opaque depending on the moment of recall. It is in a constant state of flux in visual affinity with the variable nature of this paper sculpture's malleable and shifting presentation. The land has a consciousness, or rather its own memories, and strives to right itself from the damages that humans, animals, and invasive plants that have willingly or unwillingly rendered to it. The representational side of this body of work starts from direct observation of visual cues, in addition to the echoic, haptic, and olfactory senses, to bring awareness to our present moment. The installation translates artifacts of the land from the remains and residue of mammals and invertebrates who knew this land intimately. Each piece gathered has its own textures, shapes, smells, form, and history. Once gathered and observed, the objects are either left in their representational form or reimagined, allowing them to delve into the variable or the subjective conscious experience of life. Objects are transformed either 2- or 3-dimensionally using materials that could be obtained from the land, such as charcoal and paper pulp derived from natural and upcycled fibers. The many collected artifacts, including leaves, driftwood, antlers, forgotten toys, abandoned trash, and many other found objects, are crafted in sheets of abaca and recycled pulp, and then interspersed within the ever-changing rolls of paper rendered with charcoal visions of the same subjects. The work is adaptable and flexible, and each installation is a unique experience with new additions and shifting presentations. This installation is currently on view at the Jamestown Art Center in Rhode Island until May 7th, with 18 additional feet of drawing since its last presentation. I need to acknowledge that my work is referencing Prudence Island, a place that I and generations of my family have treasured as home. This land, though, is actually the traditional territory and home of the Narragansetts, and it is known historically as Chibachawasett, and I'd like to honor them and the island itself through this body of work. Thank you.